I'm going to have to meet you in there. I've only just finished my last valuation.
You know you've got to dress up.
I know.
Well, who are you coming as?
The Office Clown Award goes to Raylene Red Delaney.
Hello, you two. Look
How
at
you
this
doing?
set. Does it get you back in the seriously red mood?
Yeah.
Oh, well, look at the colours, you can't know. We're about to start tap dancing throughout this whole thing, I think.
Doing a little Kenny and Dolly
Yeah,
duet.
this is the moment.
She's missed me.
Yeah.
It's been too long.
Krew, you wrote the screenplay, obviously, and then it was made by Dollhouse Pictures, which is full of these incredibly talented women who also happen to be great friends. What's it like making a film in that kind of environment with that kind of dynamics?
It's the best, and I highly recommend it.
You laugh a lot.
We do.
What's
I
that?
wouldn't be here without those women, and they really are my mentors. Gracie Otto, obviously, is part of Dollhouse, and she directed the film. Our lead producer, Jessica Carrera, is also part of Dollhouse. Byrne, have you heard of her? She's the executive producer on the film and also is in the film, of course. And then we've got Shannon Murphy, who's part of the company, who's our cheerleader for this project. So, it's been everything.
Where did your inspiration for the story come from?
I grew up in a household of women, and my dad was always like, "Girls, you got to get out there. You got to do what you want to do. You got to have drive. You got to be a success. You got to make it on your own." And I guess felt like I was plugging away, and I was trying to do all those things, but I didn't feel like I was getting the success that he was sort of talking about. So I started thinking about success and what that is and what that means to me, and I started doing a course at the Writers' Studio, which is a little place here in Bronte in Sydney. I very quickly realised that success to me looked like Dolly Parton, which is sort of setting the benchmark a bit high.
Colourful, but, beautiful.
Yeah,
Wise.
Yes,
Wise.
I mean, she's everything.
Yeah.
She's everything, so that's where I started.
Were you a Dolly Parton fan before you started
You know,
the story?
I was. My mum showed me the movie Still Magnolias when I was little, and that just really stuck in my heart. I just love those women. I love the story, characters, hilarious. And that's when I went, "Whoa, who are these characters?" And particularly, who is Dolly Parton?
Speaking of characters, Daniel, tell us about the man behind the beard, Mark/Kenny.
Well, that's the sort of the mystery with him, and he's a bit of an enigma. We meet him, as Kenny, and he's a guy who's run so far away from who he actually is. He's taken on this mantle of Kenny Rogers. That's how he finds love. That's how he gets attention. That's how he's found success. Like, that's his version of success. He's up in lights, and people give him adulation and applause, and he's paid lots of money and flown all over the world because he's the world's greatest Kenny Rogers. What was interesting with this guy was trying to find those moments when he's not playing Kenny, when the facade, I guess, or the mask of Kenny is broken up, and you get to see for a second, and it's mostly through moments where he's getting challenged. Like, Krew's character keeps challenging him, and I think she's probably the first person in his life who actually says, no, who
Look at this face.
who are you? Who are you? And so it was sort of finding those little moments of how do we expose a little bit of Kenny, like the Kenny behind Kenny.
And speaking of Kenny, what are the most important aspects to get right about Kenny Rogers?
Oh, man.
What is it? What is it about Kenny?
So much pressure. There's just so much pressure.
How much he loves Dolly.
Yes.
But it's
that was
true.
hard.
I mean, it's so gorgeous watching him and Dolly on... him and Dolly doing their duets.
Yeah.
This one. Their chemistry on stage together. And Kenny's funny in that. Like, he's acting. He's so masculine and present, and he's gorgeous. He's got a great voice. And then Dolly would always come in with these little quips, and she would sort of, in some similar way to Red, like, break through a little bit of that, charming, southern cultured man facade.
Yeah.
So,
Krew, Red's a bit of a hot mess to begin with, at least.
Yeah.
How would you describe her?
Impulsive and extraordinary and funny and... I love Red. She's actually kind of based a little bit on me, but also a little bit on a muse, another friend who I just find endlessly fascinating and smart. So, yeah, I adore all of her imperfections, really.
Yeah, wild and unchained.
Yeah.
Was it fun to play someone that confident and largely sort of carefree on the surface?
Yeah,
At least?
I mean, yeah, yes. What I love about and what I like exploring is I like seeing actors and actresses being fairly raw and really not being self-conscious. So sitting in that world is interesting to me.
Yeah.
We see so many people being so conscious that it's almost like the antithesis of what I'm trying to say in the film. Facades and identity is such a huge theme, and who we show ourselves to be on social media versus who we are. So I love that about Red.
Red's got all the comedy. She's got all the Buster Keaton, the slapstick energy, the quirky jokes, and the self-deprecating humor.
Yeah.
She's kind of the fun one behind the Dolly persona too.
Yeah. What were the most fun scenes to play for both of you?
The performing and singing
Yeah.
is the closest thing you get to, I guess, a live performance like you do in theatre.
Yeah.
It's not the same because we pre-recorded the songs, and so you're singing to your own stuff, but you're still up in front of an audience, you're still performing. So Ruby, Don't Take Your Love to Town.
Oh yeah, that was fun.
Chef Kiss, I love that. So much fun.
Making out with Elvis was pretty funny.
Especially because it's her friend from high school.
I loved every single bit of it. I loved meeting Danny Minogue and Jack Nicholson.
I was going to say that was really clever.
Yeah.
That was really funny. The
Bobby
Danny Minogue
Cannavale was
impersonator was great.
Yeah.
Oh,
Bobby Cannavale was amazing.
seeing Kiss standing behind you.
Yep, Celeste Barber.
There's such fun and confidence in that whole tribute act scene.
Yeah.
What did you guys learn about that whole subculture?
That it's real for a start. I didn't know
Didn't know it was so big?
I didn't know it was a thing.
Yeah.
I mean, we had a Freddie Mercury who was one of the, I know he's the best in Australia. I don't know where he's in the world, but these guys are paid a lot of money at a high level. Like the top 1% probably get paid like a lot of money. They get flown across the world because if you can't get the real Freddie Mercury, you get this guy.
If you were an impersonator, who would you be?
I'm supposed to be asking the questions here. What are you talking about?
Just a
I
side
have
note.
no idea. Someone told me I look like Christina Aguilera once.
Oh,
I don't
Take
see
that.
that.
There's some
I
good
don't see that.
there's some good costumes there.
And I don't know what era either. It depends on the era,
Genie
whether
in a
it's a
bottle.
compliment or
Genie in
not.
a bottle. Classic.
Not the dirty era. What is it about Dolly Parton that makes her such an enduring icon, do you think?
I think she's the only person that we can agree on in the world at the moment. Everybody
That's very
seems
true.
to love
Yeah.
Dolly. I think she is so generous, obviously, with her imagination library, her COVID vaccine, her million other things that she does. She's so genuine and she's so real and accessible, but she's also so private, and we don't know that much about her, considering we're in a world where more is more. You show us more, you have a reality TV show, you show us everything, you show us your sex tapes, you show us whatever you can to get attention. She's almost the oldest in the game, but leading the way and going, maybe we don't need to show everything. I could talk about Dolly. Can we do a whole thing about Dolly Parton? I can do a whole other interview
sure.
about Dolly Parton.
I really love the chapter markers of her wisdom, if you like. Do you have a favourite Dollyism?
I align myself with so many of them, but the first one that I ever attached myself to and that I stuck up on my wall in my Bronte apartment when I started writing this movie was, you got to work a dream. You got to put feet and wings on them.
Yeah.
So
Daniel, do you have one?
damn straight.
I'm putting you on the spot.
No, I don't have one with Dolly, but with Kenny, he talks about.
We're talking about Dolly.
Yeah, but
Don't give me Kenny.
come on, it's Kenny. He's talking about success, and he's talking about how the challenge of getting to the mountaintop, essentially.
Yeah.
And he said, I've gotten to the mountaintop, I've fallen from the mountaintop, but each time I fall down, I've got that little bit more wisdom and knowledge on how to climb back up. And so it becomes a joyful process that I keep on enriching and growing. And this is paraphrasing, but that's roughly it.
Yeah.
And I just love that idea of like, where you're constantly evolving, you're constantly growing, you're constantly learning. And this career and success and that journey it's an evolution, and you have markers in your career, in your life, and then you go back to normal life, and you just got to keep plodding away. And I love that very, very simple but beautiful sentiment.
I'll wrap up with one last question. After you tumble out of bed, what happens next?
Coffee. It's coffee.
I deal with 3 children.
Yeah.
After your cup of ambition?
And then I get, once they're done,
Do
then I
you
get
tumble
to
out
my
of bed, or do they tumble into your
They
bed?
tumble into
They
my
tumble
bed.
into your bed.
Yes.